It's time to start drawing a ping pong paddle with vcarve. vcarve is a desktop program. It will not run on a browser, it won't run on a Chromebook. It has to be on a laptop and is not on Chrome. The first thing we do is we create a new file. In our file, we're going to have a width of 9, a height of 13, and a thickness of 0.22. These should stay the same, material surface bottom left, and we'll choose OK. This is the piece of wood you're going to initially cut the whole thing out of. The first thing we're going to have to do is draw the blade. Now, before we get started, let's take a peek at our drawing so I can see what I had planned. Well, I planned it to be about 7 by 7 with a 4-inch handle, 1.5 wide. Okay, so let's start with that 7 by 7. We've got a circle, make that 7. Oh, that's kind of weird. I don't like this circle. So I can use Control-Z to get rid of it. I could also use the delete button. Let's try a different shape, maybe an ellipse. Oops. Gotta drag the ellipse, so click and drag so I can get a different shape. Kind of like that, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I kind of like it, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to click on it a second time. So click on it once to select it, once to really select it, and then delete button, not backspace. I mean, I could also do this. Alright, that's too many sides. Maybe 8 sides, like a stop sign. That's kind of cool. If I wanted 7, this is the radius, so I'd make the radius 3.5. It's kind of cool, but maybe not that one either. So I'm gonna go, I don't want to stop. I can do a star, like a star. Maybe like an 8-pointed star. That's kind of crazy. I think the inner radius we want to be bigger. Maybe 70. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's kind of neat. I like those shapes. But I'm actually going to choose to go back to my plan. Now you can jump off of your plan right now, it doesn't matter to me. But I'm going to make an oval. I'm going to make it 6.5 wide, that's good. And 7.2 tall. I like that. Alright, so there's my blade. I need a handle now. I use the square tool. Sorry, rectangle tool. And I'll draw on a rectangle, and I think my plan was to make it 1.5 by 4.5, or 4. Sorry, it was supposed to be 4, but that's a little bit short. Maybe make it a little taller, 4.2. Okay, go with that. Alright, now I'm going to click on it a second time to select it. So one click to select, second click selects where you can move it, and I can drag it into place. This is a little bit out of place. I'm going to drag this one up so it's closer to the top. Same here. I'm going to click on this and drag this into place here. I'm going to put a little off center on purpose because I'm going to show you how to center it later on. All right, the next step is going to be, that's done. If you click on this and just drag it, you'll see it pops to the middle. And that's better. Right, like that. Anyway, I'm going to put in a circle. Doesn't matter where exactly. These are the alignment holes. Does matter that the diameter is 0.25. I'm going to put in another one down here. It's a little bit off, but that's okay. I'm going to fix that right now. Well, next. First thing I'm going to do is round out these corners. Ooh, that's too much of a round. So this fillet tool, once again, right here. Undo that. Maybe make it 0.4. See what that looks like. Oh, that's better. Alright. And then I'm going to use this centering tool to make sure that each piece is in the center. I'm going to do it for each piece separately, and that way they'll all get centered and everything will be lined up perfectly. Alright, so now I've got to make the 2 handle side pieces. I'll select the entire thing. I can use copy and paste. So that's from here, edit, copy, edit, paste. You can also use Control-C, Control-V. So there's one. I'm going to use paste again. There's you. That time I did a Control V. Move that over there, and if I want to move it around, well, we'll deal with that later. All right, so now I've got my 3 handle pieces, and they're all identical because I copied them. Gotta get rid of these extra parts. I'm gonna use my scissor tool to cut there and there. Then I'm going to add some fillets, like right here. It'll add strength, and I think it'll look good. So put a fillet. Ooh, too small. Change that to a bigger fillet. Control Z, undo. Keep it. Ah, yeah, that one's better. Oops, I went out of that tool. Try it again. Now see, there's a problem here. It did this weird thing. I'm not sure how that happened. It doesn't like that to be a fillet because of what happened. So this is a weird problem. I'm going to see if I can fix it with just a straight line. From here to there. Use my scissor tool to clip away that excess. Use my fillet tool to round it over. All right, perfect. So we're good to go. Just need to add some text. In case people are unsure that my little monster is a monster, and this is the tongue. Oh, right, tongue line. Now I can change that. There's like literally a million different types of font you can use, but you can choose whatever you want. It's whatever you think is the most beautiful of the fonts. I'm going with this one, I don't know why. So I can click on it, and I can drag, I can rotate it with that handle on either corner. I can drag it, rotate it. Ooh, that's a little too much. Get a little bit bigger. Maybe that's a little too big. Alright, again, I'm going to copy it, Control C, Control V, just like I copied the handle, because I want this on both sides. If you want to write different things, that's fine. If you want to write the same thing, that's fine. If you want to write nothing on one side, that's fine. All set with our text. Remember, now I'm zooming out and in with the scroll ball of the mouse. Time to make our toolpaths. First toolpath is the holes. Click on all of the holes in turn, and I will use a pocket toolpath. I will cut it to a depth of 0.27, and I'm going to select the 1/4 compression bit. Leave all this the same. Choose OK. Call that holes. And calculate. Preview our visible toolpath, the selected toolpath, or preview all toolpaths, doesn't matter. It's going to show you the 6 holes that you made. Now to get back to this, you click on the 2D view, 3D view, 2D view, and we're going to do our next toolpath. And if you missed that, this little button here gets you from drawing to toolpaths. Drawing side is for CAD, drawing. Toolpath side is for machining. Alright, next one is a profile toolpath. That's going to be the outsides. So we're going to select all the outsides. Again, 0.27 is going to be our depth. We're going to select the 1/4 compression wood. Machine vectors are outside right. We're going to add some tabs. The length is 0.27 and the thickness is 0.27. Then we have to edit our tabs. Now we can just add them by putting in 3 and telling it to add the tabs, or you can just click 3 times. These tabs' function is to hold the handle in place while the machine is cutting it. We'll close that. The tabs are still in place. We'll call this the cutout, or whatever you want to call it. It's giving us a warning. We're cutting all the way through. We do want to cut all the way through. All right, I'm going to preview those toolpaths, and look at that. We got little tabs holding it in place. It cuts all the way around. We got the holes that are going to hold everything together. Getting close. Next step is the bevel. The bevel is the little part on the handle that's going to make it more comfortable to hold, like the round over on the edge. So here, we're going to choose the outsides of the handle, shift key to select more than one. We're going to have a cut depth of only 0.1, and machine vectors will be on, and we will choose the VBit 90 for fine work. Then we'll call this the bevel, and we will calculate. Preview the toolpaths. Look at that. You can see that the edge is rounded over just like I wanted. The last step is the text. So to work on the text, I can go back to my 2D view. I'll select my text. Shift button to select multiple things. I will use the vcarve toolpath. Make sure I've selected my VBit 90 for fine work. And I'm going to call this text. And I'm going to calculate it. We can preview that selected toolpath. And look at that, I got my text on there. Now I can add other graphics too. And there's a bit in the presentation about tracing the logos. If you had a logo from your favorite team or a record label or whatever, you can put that on there and then trace that using that video / Google Doc. I feel like tongues usually have a line in them, but I want to get this done. You're done. The next step is going to be saving this onto a USB drive, which you have to do with a supervisor so that the supervisor knows for sure that everything is correct. One thing the supervisor is going to might say here is that we need to move this handle a little bit. Honestly, it's probably fine, but if you did need to move it because it's overlapping, it's too close to the edge, select the whole thing, click on it a second time, drag it to a new location, and recalculate your toolpaths. Check that location by coming to the preview, reset the preview, and preview all toolpaths. There you go.